Orchids are among the most elegant and rewarding houseplants, but many gardeners struggle to keep them thriving. One fascinating way to care for these beautiful flowers is the water culture method, a technique that allows orchids to grow directly in water instead of traditional potting soil. Today, we'll explore 3 different approaches to orchid water culture that can help your plants recover, grow stronger, and bloom beautifully. The first method is full water culture. When an orchid is grown in full water culture, it means that the plant is totally submerged in water. This method is very effective. But not all orchids can tolerate being completely surrounded by water. In this approach, you'll need a clean glass container that's at least twice as tall as the orchid pot. Fill the container with water, but don't add the plant yet. You should add half an inch of water to the container. Only the roots and not the stem should touch the water. If the stem is in contact with water, it can lead to rot and kill the plant. Place the orchid in the container, making sure that half of the orchid's roots are in the water. The remaining roots should remain dry. Now let's take a closer look at the roots. You may notice that some of the roots are covered with a white, powdery substance. This is a natural occurring fungus that can sometimes develop on orchid roots. Don't be alarmed, it's not harmful and will disappear after a few days. However, if you see any dark or rotten roots, you should remove them before starting the full water culture method. To prevent bacteria, fungi, and rot from entering the plant, you can disinfect the roots before placing the orchid in the water culture container. You can make a natural lemon water solution by mixing 1 tablespoon of lemon juice with 1 cup of water. Dip a paper towel or Q-tip in the solution and gently rub the roots. Then place the orchid in the water culture container. After a week or so, you'll notice greener leaves, stronger roots, and maybe even a new flower bud. That's because the orchid has access to oxygen in the air and the water provides the hydration it needs to thrive. Just make sure to change the water every 2 or 3 days to prevent the growth of harmful microorganisms. The second technique is semi-water culture. This approach is perfect for orchids that are still in their original pots. In semi-water culture, only the tips of the roots are allowed to touch water. The rest of the roots stay in their growing medium. Semi-water culture is ideal for orchids that aren't used to being out of their growing medium. To begin, remove the lower leaves until you see either the start of a new leaf or roots. Place the pot in a container that's at least 2 inches deep. Fill the container with water, leaving about 1/2 inch of space at the top. Then place the orchid pot in the water. Just like with full water culture, check the water every few days and change it when necessary. Our third method is for orchids that have weak or drooping leaves. This approach focuses on the exposed aerial roots. You'll need a clean walled container. Take a few exposed aerial roots and place them in the container. You can also place a few pebbles in the container to help hold the roots down. Add water to the container, then place the orchid back in its pot. Place the pot in an area that will receive bright indirect light. Once a month, you can add a few drops of diluted liquid fertilizer. Just make sure the water and fertilizer mixture doesn't spill over into the orchid pot. This method is great for orchids that aren't actively growing or blooming. It gives the orchid time to recover while providing hydration to the exposed roots. Whether you choose full, semi, or aerial root hydration, the water culture method is a proven way to keep orchids healthy, vibrant, and in bloom. With patience and care, your orchids will reward you with lasting beauty.